Hello, welcome to the Retro Ranger episode for the week ending in September 3rd, 2021. Um,
Whoa.
we are in the future and talking about Time Force. Or I guess we're in the
Wow.
past, or I don't know how time works. It's just a thing that exists. It's a societal construct that doesn't mean anything.
That's wow. What a great point,
I don't know.
Josh. Thank you for
I, I,
sharing.
I broke Corey and Blackwing's brain with that, so that's why they're not here joining us.
Yeah, right. So,
you know, whatever.
whoops.
So
They're
today,
lost in the time stream. Yeah. So,
today it is just me and Bryce talking about these 3 episodes of Power Rangers Time Force. This will probably be a shorter episode. I know I can ramble for a long time, so I'll try and
sure
keep that
telling me.
keep that
Holy
to a
cow.
minimum.
Gee whiz. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, man.
I just
But,
like talking. It's the sound of my own voice. I need to hear it.
oh, I can tell. Yeah. So, it's, you know, it's becoming a problem, quite frank. And so,
Who's
yeah,
Frank?
we need to. So welcome to the show, everyone. We're talking about Power Rangers Time Force as usual. So and the two huge Time Force Time Ranger people aren't here.
Of course.
So
Well, it's funny because one of them, this is like their favorite season, and the other one hates this season. So it's kind of funny.
Well, oddly enough, so Corey will be joining. I don't know what Corey's doing because Corey is going to be joining us on Retro Sentai, filling in for Blackwing. But then now he's not here, so I don't know what he's doing. He's probably playing Beyblade with his mom or something. But yeah,
You mean getting beat at Beyblade
yeah,
by his
yeah,
mom.
that's what I meant. Yeah.
So what is new in the Power Rangers world right now? I know the newer one of the newer episodes has dropped on Nickelodeon already, right? Or is that next week?
No, I don't know. You see, it's weird because 3 of them have already premiered on Netflix.
Right.
So
But then those 3 were going to be airing on Nickelodeon before the new episodes. Right?
yeah,
So
I don't think they've started airing those episodes yet.
I don't know. I remember seeing something.
I
about
might
it.
be wrong.
It might be coming up. Maybe it's coming up. I
Yeah,
remember seeing something about it.
it should be. Yeah,
But yeah, so I think that's episode 9, right? Is the first of those 3 that dropped on Netflix.
Yeah,
That should be coming
9, 10, and 11. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then apparently Lord Zed is going to show up at some point.
I saw that.
So that's weird.
Yeah. I saw that there were some Lightning Collection announcements.
Yeah, there was a bunch of Lightning Collection news last month. We got the Ninja Turtle figures. We got Finster, Ecliptor, Astronema.
I'm probably gonna buy that Finster.
Dude, it's freaking awesome.
Really
and then
good.
we also have Billy and Adam Ninjetti suit figures. So those pretty cool as well. And then otherwise than that, they announced a new book, Power Rangers Universes. That's going to cover the origin of the Phantom Ranger.
Oh right, and
so
that's Frank Gogol is writing that one, right?
No. Frank Gogol is not writing that. There's some drama with Frank Gogol. I don't know for sure if he's attached to Power Rangers anymore. But they have a new writer.
I missed that.
Yeah. I don't know what all I'm allowed to say. So I think that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Because I know a little more about that book than most people, than the general audience, and I don't want to say something I'm not supposed to say.
Right.
So otherwise than that, Frank Ogle, I know for sure he's not writing the book. There's a new writer, and it's coming out here soon. And that's what I'm gonna say about the book. So
sounds good. Thomas Franco has joined us, so there is one other person here. Welcome, Thomas Franco. I think that's really all the news that I saw. I didn't know that thing. Yeah. I mean, it shows how much I pay attention to that kind of stuff, though. I didn't know about Frank Gogol not being attached to that any longer.
Yeah. I think it's news to people that he was attached at all. So I don't think that was ever announced or anything. So yeah. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. That's
there's a new board game I think I saw too, right?
Oh yes.
Or a role-playing
so
game?
there's a new RPG, and and Renegade Studios is doing a live show, just like Hyperforce, called Power Rangers Day of Destiny, where they are kind of demonstrating the game, the mechanics of the game. And unlike Hyperforce, you can actually go to the store and buy this game and play it. So that's really cool. So yeah, there's a new Power Rangers live RPG show. I can't believe I forgot about that. But it's actually a lot of fun.
From what I saw in like the early stuff, it looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun. I know we off camera we were just talking about how we're trying to figure out what we're doing for our Twitch channel, and like board gaming and RPGs are one of the things that I would love to do on there.
Yeah. It's pretty popular on Twitch too.
Yeah, so maybe if we can find someone to run, like actually be the DM for the game, we can get a group together to do the that new Power Rangers RPG.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
It's hard to find like enough people to make the game fun that can do it on a regular basis at the same time every week.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, it's not work, but it is work. So
right.
It's one of those things. But let's start talking about these episodes today. So we're on 16, 17, and 18. I'm gonna be honest. I kind of zoned out during episode 18.
Great. Me too. So
I just got bored. Like I'm watching the episode and I'm like, okay, I know I watched it. But be damned if I can retain anything that actually
I was just making thumbnails throughout that whole episode. They went into an alternate universe and stuff happened and Jen got mad and
yeah. So
that's all I know.
Let's talk about what I can remember and what you can remember. So what I remember is,
so we're skipping ahead here, but okay.
I mean, we'll bounce back and forth. Because I did kind of like 17. 6.
Which one was that?
17 was the one with the ghost.
Yeah.
And then 16 was the one with the little girl and the scientist that worked for Wes's father getting kidnapped. And what's his name? What's Michael Copan's character's name?
Lucas.
And
I have to think about it too. I always have to think about it.
Lucas having to babysit the that little girl while protecting her. So let's go in order. I was gonna say let's just start with 18, but we should just go in order. Because otherwise I'm gonna forget. I'm gonna get lost. It's not gonna make any sense. So let's talk about episode 16. What did you think about this episode?
I actually enjoyed it, and the reason being is that we have, the typical, we're going to involve a kid in the plot thing. That's very prevalent in what we're watching right now in Zyuranger, which annoys the hell out of us. But the thing with this is that they actually made the kid relevant to the story in that her father is one of the people doing research on the quantum powers. I thought that was cool how they were kind of able to make the connection. I also like how she was like annoying the hell out of Lucas the whole time. I thought that was pretty funny.
I feel like that's a common thing in Power Rangers though too, because didn't that happen with who was it in Space, where the girl saw him transform and she was blackmailing him?
Yeah. And then she activated the battleizer, right?
Yeah. What was that Andros or was that someone?
It was Andros.
It was Andros. Yeah.
It was Andros.
Yeah. So like it feels like that's just like a thing that happens.
Yeah.
Like I remember I remember that happening.
Well, and then there was the stowaway on Lost Galaxy.
Yeah. Mighty Morphin. I'm pretty sure I remember something like that.
Oh, they did it a bunch in Mighty Morphin, but I mean the source material, like in Zyuranger, is like every single week there's a kid involved in the plot. Every single, and that's not a joke. That's every single episode. there's some kid involved,
So
and they have to either be saved or help the Zoo Rangers or whatever.
So we know it was Carlos. That's right. It was Carlos, not Andros.
Oh yeah, there was another episode with Carlos. Yeah, but
Yeah.
there still was the episode with Andros, with the battleizer.
Yeah. I remember that, but yeah, it was Carlos who the girl saw him transform and had the picture from him in the photo booth. Because I actually I have a photo. I have that photo because he did an appearance at the Comic Bug a couple of years ago, and he brought like a stack of those photo strips that he had made up himself.
That's awesome.
So I have that of him transforming. Thank you, Craig. That's a good memory on that. But yeah, so back to this episode. This girl's father was kidnapped from home. She saw it happen. The monsters, creatures, Nadira and the robot things. I forget.
Yeah, those guys.
Cyclobots.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. Cyclobots.
Yeah. So they were after the kid now. She sees Lucas helping out this girl who was in an accident. The dude was being kind of a dick to her. So the little girl comes up and is like, "Hey, I want to hire you to be my bodyguard." And Lucas kind of is like, "Yeah, whatever, piss off."
Yeah.
But then actually realizes that she actually is in need of help, and so starts digging into what's going on a little bit more. So that's basically the setup for this episode. And obviously they saved the day. Like that's they're not gonna let the little girl get kidnapped and like offed.
Right.
That's not gonna happen in Power Rangers. So how did you actually like the storyline in this episode? Because obviously we've got big fights, the battles. The fights in Power Rangers are almost always like they're always the same. Like I kind of hate to say it. Like it's
unless it's like a story episode.
Yeah, they're very formulaic. We know what we're getting. And either you like the way the fights happen or you don't.
Yeah.
So
I like the story. I like, every once in a while they have some episode that's going to involve a kid, and it's a kid show, so it's determined to be happen. And so I think in this scenario they did it in a creative enough way to where I was still able to enjoy it and not just be annoyed the entire time like Lucas.
Right.
And so because it's like every week in Jew Ranger, it's just like, oh, here's the kid of the week. There's monsters of the week, and now there's kids of the week, and then there's just another thing that we have to deal with, and usually it's just I don't know. It's just like this kid who has a family and the family's falling apart, and for some reason the Yellow Ranger's involved, and so it doesn't make any sense. But with this, her dad is directly involved with the plot and what's going on, and so I kind of like how they were able to make that connection there.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I thought the girl in this episode was surprisingly good. Typically, when you see like every other kid actor that I've seen in Power Rangers has usually been not great at all.
Well, I mean, to be fair, every other actor in Power Rangers besides the Rangers are usually pretty weak. So
that's fair. That's fair. But usually with kid actors it's even worse. Like because like even on non-Power Ranger shows, like you know when a kid actor is good and you know when a kid actor is not. You can't really blame them because they're just a kid, and who knows if they even really want to be doing that, or whether it's the parents that are being like no, I'm going to live my dreams vicariously through you. Go perform, make millions of dollars so you can take care of me in my old age, or whether the kid is like, no, I want to be an actor. You just kind of never know. Or if the parents are feeding into their child's like imaginary dreams that they're the best ever at whatever it is that they're doing, like a Honey Boo Boo or something. Like you just don't know. But no, this girl like she was fun to watch. She was playing the annoying part without necessarily being annoying by doing it. Because like that girl that saw Carlos transform, I was just like, no, please just go away. You're being really annoying. I don't like you. Whereas this girl, I was like, okay, I kind of get what's going on here. She was kind of spoiled, but not making a thing about it.
Right. Yeah.
And with Lucas, this was a good character development episode for Lucas, because you could see that he actually does care about like other people and other things. He's not just kind of like there to try and meet chicks and beat up bad guys.
Right.
So I did like that. I that's something else. I did like that all three of these episodes were basically character building episodes. This episode was for Lucas. The next episode was for Katie, and the third episode that neither of us paid attention to was kind of like split between
Jen and Wes.
Yeah.
And kind of building towards their relationship.
Yeah,
as well. So
this episode also showed, or no, was it this episode that had the Quantum Ranger again, or was that the next one? The 18?
Sure.
I think it must have been.
I don't know. I can't remember.
It must have been 18, because I remember seeing Eric there being like, "You guys keep getting in my way. Just let me handle this." Or I have to come in and save you again. I think that was 18. But yeah, in this one, like it was good. I liked it. I think I don't really have any complaints about pacing or just, like weird things in the story. I think it was pretty solid. 17, on the other hand, it was interesting. Like I didn't I know what happened in this episode. I understand what they were going for.
It was weird though.
Yeah, I don't know if it necessarily paid off for me. Jared Hodges, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Going on?
How you doing? Let us know what's up.
There was no. I mean, we go through all the Katie stuff and all the dream stuff, and then all of a sudden it's just like boom, we're in the action. It's just like, what happened here? Like there's no introduction to like the monster or anything. It's just kind of happening because we spent the whole time with the weird. Was it a flashback? Was it a dream? Did she go back in time? Like it was weird.
I'm just happy that in a show called Time Force, even if it was a supernatural thing, we got some sort of time travel.
Yeah. See, there's time travel. You see, so I think you should watch the RPG that they did, Hyperforce, because they go back in time. They do different time travel stuff like every episode.
Yeah, I watched a couple of episodes of it, and it's one of those things where I understand what it is. But it's hard for me.
Sure.
To be involved with it if I'm not involved with it.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, it's definitely not for everyone.
Yeah,
you have to be into it, you know.
Yeah. Like I don't know. It's weird saying that too, because we were talking about doing a live role playing show on Twitch.
But you would be in it. You would be actively involved.
Right. Yeah, I feel like
you'd be playing.
It's a little bit different. Yeah. Like I have nothing like I'm not shitting on anyone who enjoys watching those things. And I would enjoy making that stuff for people who do enjoy watching those things.
Yeah.
I just don't know that I could sit there for 3 hours and
right,
like just pay attention to that. Without actually, being involved with it. But that, that's just me. I
right.
But no, this episode I thought was fun. Something that was interesting to me, and this is weird for us to be talking about this because we're just a couple of white dudes. But I thought it was interesting that they sent Katie into the past, and like in something like Doctor Who or Star Trek or more adult oriented shows, they would have touched on that aspect of it where she is a person of color living now in a time period where they didn't treat.
Right.
It would not have been treating
that is. I remember watching this for the first time like a few years back, and I go, "Wait a minute," But it is Power Rangers as a kid show, so I don't really know if you can expect them to touch on those kinds of topics.
Yeah, so I understand why they didn't go that direction, but like next weekend, or the weekend after that, whenever Quarry or Blackwing are back with us again, I do want to get their perspective on that, because I thought that was an interesting choice, just because that when she interfered in what was happening between I can't remember their names, but the asshole,
the guy,
the asshole, and the ghost guy, who wasn't really a ghost anymore here. When she got in the middle of that, things would have gone way differently.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know, because she still has like super strength or whatever. She has some sort of strength, so I think she still would have been able to kick his ass.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But the way the conversation would have happened
Oh, yeah.
would have been a little
Yeah.
different. So I think that was that was interesting. But outside of that, I thought I thought the storyline in the past was pretty good. It was it was cliche. We've seen this kind of thing before on lots of shows. She goes back in time. Dude who was a ghost is in love with this girl who is being claimed by this other dude. It's A Million Ways to Die in the West, more or less. But with a slightly different ending. But yeah, I thought this was a solid Katie building episode, because we got to see her on her own, doing her own thing, and not have to.
And this is the first time that we've had a Katie focus episode,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So it was just her not having to take orders from Jen or anyone else, and just being kind of left to her own devices to figure out what's going on and how to deal with it. And I thought she did a really good job of like portraying that kind of a character, and be like, listen, I'm kind of a badass, and I'm gonna show you guys why. Because she, like, we don't really get that from her in the present day. Like, we see it, we know what she's capable of, we know that she's really strong, because we've seen her do like a lot of things before. But I feel like that aspect of her kind of got thrown by the wayside in like like after the first couple of episodes.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, it's usually, I mean, the Power Rangers and Super Sentai, they have their focus characters, and this season is Wes and Jen and Eric, and those are the characters who are going to get the focus and the development. Besides the off occasion when Lucas, Katie, and Trip will get a focus episode. Otherwise, you're not really going to see them actually develop throughout the show at all, and that's usually just kind of normal for Power Rangers and Super Sentai as well.
Yeah.
Because I mean Jetman, the last season of Super Sentai we covered was literally the Ryu Gai Kaori show. And no other character really got any sort of development at all until like the very, very end. And that's usually how it goes here in America as well.
Yeah.
So,
and that's usually, honestly, like, I could overlook a lot of stuff in series that like, as long as the acting is good, and the show is fun, and there is some sort of character development. Excuse me, I can look over a lot of other faults in the show, like weird continuity conflicts, or just like abandoning a plot line here, or a thread that just kind of gets dropped. Like I'll talk about it, and I'll bring it up in these kind of discussions, but I can overlook those kind of things because the rest of the show is fun. And Power Rangers is like a really weird mix of that for me. So sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Like, so far with Time Force, I think it's working because I'm enjoying watching the characters do their thing. But I do think character development is one of the things that at least this season so far, 17, 18 episodes into it, we're lacking a little bit for the non-main Ranger characters.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I could definitely understand. I mean, it's not just Power Rangers either. I know, for example, something that you're very familiar with, Star Trek Enterprise does the same thing, where with Travis and Hoshi, they basically get nothing to do. Hoshi a little more than Travis. Poor Travis. He he has like no story. He kind of died once, and then that was like the most exciting thing that ever happened to Travis.
Well, I feel like every series of Star Trek kind of has that one guy that's kind of like that. In Star Trek Voyager, it was Harry Kim, who started off the series as an ensign, and 7 years later, after they got home, was still an ensign. Never got promoted. Just always there. And there were some Harry and Tom, but both of them, like he was one of the main characters along with Tom Paris, and both of them had quite a number of episodes that were like specific on them, and it's funny just because like he always kind of felt left behind. TNG had like O'Brien. Like O'Brien had until he moved to Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
Like his character kind of didn't go anywhere either. Then all of a sudden it was like,
yeah, but he wasn't really supposed to be a main character though, right?
He wasn't, but like he got upgraded like over the course of the series. He went from being just like a recurring character to being a series regular.
Okay.
Like he went from just being like on and off in like like maybe 3 or 4 or 5 episodes in a season to being in like being in almost every single episode. And then all of a sudden when Deep Space Nine started, it was like, hey, this guy's now going to be chief of operations. It's like, wait, what? This dude? He was like the transporter guy. So it was just kind of a weird thing.
Yeah. Right.
And I guess that's really it. Deep Space Nine did a pretty good job with all the main characters. There were times when a couple of them felt like they were falling by the wayside, but they usually like pick back up later. The current ones do a good job with the ensemble cast too. And that's honestly that's one of the reasons why I'm liking Dino Fury, is because I feel like they're doing a good job with making all of the Ranger characters feel important in their own way.
Yeah, it's not like the just for random example, it's not the well, I'm almost saying their actor names. It's not the Zato Amelia Ali show. Like and those are the 3 Rangers that we started off with. Once not Chance, freaking Javi and Izzy came in, they became immediately a part of the team and got equal amount of focus. At least I feel right now, and supposedly according to episode descriptions, we're not getting Aeon. I don't know how to pronounce it yet because the show's not out.
Is that the Gold Ranger?
Yeah, we're not getting the Gold Ranger until like episode 16.
Oh wow!
So that's like 3/4 through the season.
Yeah.
So that is new. Like that hasn't happened in a long time. Like the last time I remember that happening was like maybe Ninja Storm with the Green Ranger. Something like that, to where it was that late into the season where we got the 6th Ranger. So yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said earlier, I'm looking forward to seeing it come back, because I'm this is the first Ranger show that I've watched in real time as it was airing since Mighty Morphin. So I'm excited for it. I've been.
I think Dino Fury kind of, in a weird way, does sort of call back to Mighty Morphin, but it still makes it its own thing, and I think that's what makes it so good so far.
Yeah.
It's because it feels like Mighty Morphin, but also it feels like Dino Fury, like its own separate entity.
Right.
So I've really been enjoying it so far, and I'm looking forward to new episodes finally coming back.
Yeah.
Because Power Rangers likes to do this weird thing where it takes like 4 months off.
Yeah, I don't
like other shows don't do that. I mean, I know that was a thing like back in the day, but most shows don't really do that anymore. I mean, they have a mid-season, but it's like a few weeks, and then the show's back.
Yeah, like so I remember it was like Sci-Fi Channel did that for a while. Like you would get like a fall finale. Like their shows would start early, so like Stargate SG-1, Stargate Atlantis, and like Warehouse 13, Eureka, all those shows from back in the day. They're
probably whenever I was in kindergarten.
Their shows would start a little bit earlier than some of the other fall shows, but then they would take their break around like the I want to say with like the middle of November, and then they wouldn't come back until January or February.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a thing. But yeah, now it's like usually like end of December. They'll take three like maybe 6 weeks. They'll be like the last 3 weeks of December and the first 3 weeks of January, and then you'll start getting new stuff again.
Or sometimes you get the whole season in one day. You know,
but like AMC did that too, like Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Like you had like a year between like the first half of a season and the second half of a season of Breaking Bad and Mad Men. So that was a weird thing there. Over in the chat, just really quick, Donnie Pearson is here. Thank you for joining us. He's back to our discussion about Star Trek. He's mentioning that we've got almost only 3 more days till Star Trek Day, which I believe I am going to cover some of the Star Trek stuff that's going on over there. So I'm really kind of excited about that. He also says that Trip is among the names of both a Star Trek character from Star Trek Enterprise and also a character from Power Rangers, along with Dax and Kira. I didn't know about Dax and Kira. That's interesting.
So my problem, like, back to Star Trek real quick, because we mentioned Trip. Yeah. I got what happens. I'm not gonna say what happens, but I got what happens at the end spoiled for me, and I haven't watched this show since. It's been like half a year.
And how far in were you?
Like, I think I was maybe halfway through season 2.
You've got a long. There's a lot more in between there.
I know, but it's just like, that's a really stupid thing to do. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I can't say that I disagree, but there's a lot more storyline with him that kind of builds up. So I mean, I get it, but it's one of those things where, yeah, it sucks to know that and not see it as it happens, but
yeah.
Also, there's so much more in between there, because like you know, if you were going back and rewatching the show, you would already know that's what happened.
Yeah. Right. But I feel like we've just basically said it already.
Yeah. Back in the chat, Craig Anderson says that he's not a fan of
that's the Super Sentai version.
I can't pronounce that.
Ryu Soldier.
Ryu Soldier.
Yeah, Ryu Soldier.
Because there isn't a real ending, and the season is just goofy and ridiculous.
Yeah, but that's a lot of Power Rangers and Super Sentai, though. I feel like you got to have some sort of tolerance for that.
Yeah, like I remember I saw one of the Sentai series, and every episode ended with like a dance sequence, and I was like,
yeah, that's most of them. That's that's pretty much all of them. So I mean, you know, I think with Jew Ranger, a season that I am not really enjoying. I think the parts that I enjoy the most are when it goes absolutely balls to the wall, like batshit crazy. And so like in this recent batch of episodes, Bandora and her gang have a musical number, and so I thought that was absolutely hilarious. And so and that was probably my favorite part of the episodes that we watched.
I completely agree with that, because that's also one of my things with like movies. I don't remember who it was I was talking to about this earlier, but movies, TV shows, it goes back to what I was saying earlier about something being fun and being able to overlook the issues that you have with it because it's fun. Like if you're watching a serious drama and there are like either continuity issues, or someone can't act well, or they make illogical decisions, it's hard to get past those because of the seriousness of what you're watching. Whereas if you're watching just like Aquaman, I just rewatched Aquaman last week, and that movie is goofy as fuck. And it's fine because it fits for the type of movie that it is, and the problems that like the story issues that I had with it, I was able to overlook because it was just like goofy and stupid and fun.
Yeah. I think the one exception to this is Chojin Sentai Jetman, because somehow, I mean, that season is dark as shit. Okay, but they somehow found a way to like have like, I don't know, like betrayal and like love triangle and like all this like drama and stuff, and then throw in, oh yeah, here's a cup noodle monster. And like it was absolutely hilarious because it was such a boom shift.
Right.
Like, like we have this like huge like dark brooding drama, and then this like giant like cup of noodles that is like dancing around. It's like I don't. It was great.
In the chat, Craig Anderson says that his favorite Super Sentai season is Abba Ranger because it's super dark and the White Ranger is a badass. Jared Hodges says that his favorite Super Sentai was Deca Ranger and Magi Ranger.
Magi Ranger, yeah.
Magi Ranger. And Donnie, we all know that he's a big fan of music. He says that what he really loved about Jetman is the kick butt opening theme tune.
It does have a really good theme song, yeah.
So let's get through what we can remember from episode 18. If any of you guys,
and I just watched it a few hours ago. So.
I literally just watched
I still don't remember.
10 minutes before we went on. So any of you guys in the chat that want to fill us in here, we will welcome it, and we apologize for butchering this episode. But I feel like we both found it really boring and just couldn't connect with it.
Yeah. I mean, I thought like some of the like the beginning stuff with Wes and Jen, I thought that was cool, and I thought like the Alex stuff was really neat. Otherwise, I had shit to do. I was making thumbnails, and so
like for me,
I just kind of spaced out.
For me, it just like I get what they were trying to do in this episode. This was kind of an origin story for Jen and her, and like how she ended up joining Time Force, but it ended up raising like a bunch of other questions for me. Like, why is Time Force called Time Force? Like obviously now we know they were traveling time, they were building a ship, but they were the cops in the future. So when Time Force started,
right, yeah, like, they're like it's the year 3000, like, guys, this is the future.
Yeah, it was just one of those things. Like I can't say that it took me out of the episode, because this is like obviously we were talking, like I was talking about this at the beginning of the show. It's just
That's like a good point.
It's just a weird thing.
Well, for me. Now I was barely paying attention, but did they form this police force because time travel was being developed, or like did they say that, or
not as far as I can remember? There's a show that used to be or a movie. There were a couple of shows, but there was one called Time Cop, and the cop was from. It was basically the same kind of premise. The cop was from the future. He came back to the past, and he was fighting villains that were coming back in time from the future. They didn't call him Time Cop. That was just the name of the show because he was a cop from the future that traveled in time to the past. This is a little bit different because the name of this season of Power Rangers isn't just called Time Force. Their team, their group are the Time Force Rangers.
Right. So it's kind of like in Beast Morphers, where they weren't called the Beast Morphers because that would be ridiculous. They're called Grid Battle Force, but that doesn't roll off the tongue as well. So so they called it, and I think it's a very Hasbro name. I think is another reason why it was called Beast Morphers, but I don't think they ever say the word Beast Morphers in the show. But they had an organization that was called something different, and I think that this probably could have benefited from that. Maybe not calling Time Force.
Yeah,
I mean, even
like Power Rangers in space. Their team name wasn't Power Rangers in space. Power Rangers Lost Galaxy. Space Rangers, yeah, Power Rangers Lost Galaxy. They weren't the Lost Galaxy Rangers.
Yeah.
So it's I don't know. It's again, it's a kids show. So
yeah.
I mean,
I think eventually the name does make sense whenever they start doing time travel stuff. But I do agree. Like, it is weird that they were just called Time Force before they started messing with time travel.
Yeah, so maybe that was one of the things that kind of took me out of this episode, because I was just like, it's this again. But yeah, I did like that we got a little bit of development for Jen's character. I just wish that some of what we learned about her was prevalent throughout
Yeah.
what we've been seeing like since the beginning of the series.
Right.
Like
I think it was cool. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I wish we had seen that she was coming to terms with her being a leader, um,
Yeah.
rather than her just trying to be in charge because she was like, oh
Right.
well, I need to be in charge. Like if it was a gradual thing, and then we were like, oh well, now this makes a lot of sense. I think it would
Yeah.
I think it would have played a little bit better.
Yeah, I think it was cool that they took the opportunity to bring back the actor who played Alex.
Yeah.
From episode 1. Wow, that was way back, guys. So it was really cool that they brought him back. I thought that's so funny. Like, we were just supposed to assume that in 1,000 years, Wes is going to have an ancestor that looks or a successor
Yeah.
a descendant that looks exactly like him.
Well, that's one of the things that we were talking about in the first like our first show of this episode, because I was like, wait, because like just like again, not really not ever having seen the show and only kind of knowing things from what people have told me, I was under the impression that there was a theory out there that Alex was a descendant of Jen and Wes because they had gotten together by like at some point, which would be weird because Jen was dating Alex in the future, so she would have been dating one of her descendants. I mean, granted, there's 1,000 years of genetic variations going on there, so it's fine as far as that goes, but it's still kind of weird.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it is weird. Especially since Sins of the Future, the graphic novels, spoilers, show Wes and Jen are still together. So if they stay together and they have a kid or whatever, I mean, I would venture to say that Alex is the descendant of Wes and Jen, and Jen almost, I mean, it's 1,000 years, so obviously it doesn't matter at that point,
right?
But yeah, that would make Alex the descendant of Wes and Jen and Alex were engaged, so
right. Unless,
but again, it's 1,000 years.
Yeah, I mean, unless maybe there's a brother somewhere that had his own family tree too.
Not that we know of.
I don't know.
So yeah.
So
yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. Maybe a cousin.
Yeah. Who knows?
A cousin who looks exactly like Wes. So
I mean, I look almost exactly like my uncle. Like I resemble my dad, but my uncle, like I look a lot closer to him than
you do look like an uncle. Yeah. You just look like uncle. Like that's your look.
Actually, I just remember part of episode 16 that I wanted to talk about. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go back to that really quick.
Sure.
At the end, we do Eric is there not as the Quantum Ranger, but he was there as part of the team that saved the girl's father, the scientist.
Yeah.
And when Wes's dad was like, "Oh, great, good, you saved him," or whatever, and then just goes about his business. Eric says something along the lines of, "Oh, and Doctor whatever his name is, didn't get injured," and the dad was like, "Whatever, who cares?" More or less.
Yeah.
Like you could see that Eric is starting to have a change of, not necessarily a change of heart, but he's starting to recognize that maybe Wes's dad isn't really all about doing good stuff, because you saw him turn around and was like, okay, well, I'm glad you're happy about it,
Right.
So I thought that was interesting. I for some reason I was thinking that was in this last episode, but that was that first one.
Yeah.
But yeah, this episode, it was just kind of meh. I mean, the different dimension thing, we've kind of seen that before. These weren't the Psycho Rangers, but they could have been.
I mean, they were just evil Time Force Rangers. Yeah. So
it just kind of felt like this episode just kind of felt like we've seen it before numerous times.
Yeah.
So
well, and they didn't even change the suit, so it's kind
Yeah.
of hard to tell who's who. And so,
yeah, so
I mean, obviously the ones getting blasted were the real ones, but
yeah,
but yeah, it was
yeah, just
weird.
overall, it just really didn't do anything for me. Next week is no next week is another 3 episodes. The next two-parter doesn't come for like another 10 episodes, I think. So yeah, so next week we'll be on episodes 19, 20, and 21. I haven't looked ahead to see, like, we've got the event up there so you guys can see it. We'll be here at 1:15 or thereabouts, like we were today. I know the descriptions are in there, but I kind of didn't pay attention to what I was putting in there, just so I can go in kind of fresh when I'm watching them. But again, overall, we're almost halfway through this series. I am enjoying it. I am still going to say that so far I think we've had the best character development in the show than the previous than either In Space or Lost Galaxy, which are the last two that I watched. Oh, or even Lightspeed. Sorry, there were 3. I almost forgot about Lightspeed Rescue. Even though that was the most recent one.
You're not the first. Won't be the last.
I am enjoying where these characters are going and how we're seeing them progress, and I hope that we'll see more of that over the course of the next 22 episodes. So next up we have Retro Sentai wrap up. I know you said that Corey is on that already. What are you guys covering today?
Yeah.
Which episodes?
We're covering the Barai arc, so the Green Ranger arc from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the Zhu Ranger version of that. It's gonna be 6 episodes, so it's gonna be action packed. Yeah, but we just kind of wanted to do it like one fell swoop. It's a 6-part story, so
yeah, it makes sense.
yeah. So we're punching through it. It's gonna be great. We're going live at, what would it be? 3 o'clock Pacific time. So here in about
minutes.
Yeah. So it's gonna be pretty epic. Not gonna lie.
Tomorrow, we have the Illuminerdi Wrestling Order coming up at 8 o'clock, where they'll be talking about all of the news and rumors and events that have happened this past week in professional wrestling, WWE, AEW, New Japan World. That guy who lives down the street from you and built a wrestling ring in his backyard, they're even going to talk about that. After the Illuminati Wrestling Order, we have the season 5 finale of Rick and Morty, the last 2 episodes. We will be doing our Spoke Along, which will also be the final episode of that show here on YouTube. We will be moving over to Twitch for season 6 when that comes back.
In like 3 years. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know they've already finished recording the voiceovers for season 6. So I'd imagine that the animation is probably pretty close to being done too, if not completed. So hopefully we should be getting that soon. I know because I know that they started season 7 as well. So hopefully we'll start getting them on a more regular basis. Now that they know that they're renewed for like now another 50 episodes or whatever it is. So we're good there. Tuesday we'll have episode 5 of What If. If you guys haven't seen episode 4, it's a Doctor Strange episode. It is really good. It is completely different than the first 3, though. I'm gonna warn you, it's a lot darker. So be prepared going in to maybe shed a tear or 2. It's
okay. I haven't seen it yet, so I need to go watch that now.
It's really good. I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's definitely...
It's going to be hard to beat the Chadwick episode.
Yeah, and only because of that. Like, that Chadwick episode was really good, but so was this one. So, like, I would almost say that these 2 are tied for number 1 and number 2. Just because depending on the mood that I'm in when I sit down and want to watch something, I could... If I want to watch something fun, I'll watch the Chadwick episode. If it doesn't matter, I might watch episode, sit down and watch episode 4 instead. Then Wednesday will be myself, Jamie, and Caitlin with the next episode of Star Trek Lower Decks. It's a really fun series. We're halfway through this new season now. But again, because I'm covering the Star Trek Day stuff, I don't know what that's going to mean for that, so we may push that episode off till Thursday, since we don't currently have a Star Wars show that we're covering. we don't have to worry about like interfering with those. And then we start all over again on Saturday with Retro Ranger wrap up and then the Ranger wrap up. So Bryce, I'm sure these guys will see you again here in about 45 minutes. I'm sure I will talk to you throughout the week. And for Donnie, I know I'll see you again Wednesday if we do the Star Trek show that night, or if I do a random live stream from Star Trek Day if I'm able to get a signal there to do it. But otherwise, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend, the rest of your Saturday, your Labor Day weekend. Don't burn anything down while you're outside trying to grill. And if you live in California, please vote. Please, please vote. Because we need that. And have again. We will see you guys later.
All right.
I hate ending things. See you next week, guys.